Welcome to the Saturday Sports Line. Since 1969, the premier sports show about local high school sports, featuring coaches, players, and special guests. Now, here is your host of the Saturday Sports Line, Kankakee Valley Broadcasting's WKVI Sports Director, Mitch Columbi, and sports analyst, Chris McGowan.
And a good morning to you here on the Saturday Sports Line. Mitch Columbi along with sports analyst Chris McGowan here in the Palaska Memorial Hospital studios. We are so glad to be here. A lot of games last night. We're going to catch you up. Chris, good morning to you. Did you get any sleep?
Oh, yeah. I slept like a rock.
Well, I did too. It was probably the first week in 5 of them, I'll tell you that much. As we were down in Winamac last night, they took on the North Judson-San Blue Jays. A valiant effort from the Warriors, but the Blue Jays got the better of them. This is their third shutout in a row for the Blue Jays, so a big win for them. Tough loss for the Winamac Warriors. We're going to talk to both coaches here in this hour and also next hour. The Knox Redskins coming off that loss last week to the North Judson-San Blue Jays. They turned things around. They beat John Glenn at John Glenn last night, 42-21. We'll have Russ Radtke in the house to talk about that, as I'm sure he's very happy with his team this morning. And then the Culver Cavaliers at Triton, an unfortunate loss, 42-0. We'll have a chance to talk to Mike Zehner about that as the Cavs, that's 2 weeks in a row, tough games for them. Hopefully Mike Zehner will give us some insight of what's going on there. And then the South Central Satellites in Union Mills. Buzz Schoff has his first win along with his team. The Satellites did a great job last night against Osceola Grace, 24-20. We're so happy for the Satellites as they get their first win of the season. That's some confidence those guys needed over there, I'm sure.
Yeah, struggling coming into last night, and like you said, they needed something positive to go their way, and maybe they can springboard off of that victory last night and string together a couple victories here.
Well, we move on into the West Central Trojans as they stayed home, They played North Newton, a shutout game for Marc Hall and his Trojans. Let's go ahead and bring in Marc Hall as they beat North Newton 42-0, Marc, last night. What a great game. How are you this morning?
It was a great game. I'm doing fine. How about yourselves?
Hey, we're hanging in there.
Yeah, we're getting the job done.
That's good.
All right, Coach. A little worried about North Newton coming into the game with their numbers and all that, but with it being a conference game, it's nice to see that they were able to show up and actually play that game. So that moves your Trojans to 2-0 in the conference. So as long as you keep winning, hey, you're in the driver's seat.
Yeah. And North Newton, they've won conference the last 4 years, so it's not like it was difficult for us to get refocused on what we needed to do. Like their numbers are down this year, but if you look at their last couple of years, they've started off kind of slow with some of the teams they play, and then they start to pick it up about this point in the season. So our kids, they did a nice job just remaining focused on what needed to be done. We last October set goals that we wanted to do for this year, and one of those is it with conference. So it was pretty easy getting them refocused on this was a goal game that we had set last year. So the kids, they did a nice job of just going out there and doing what needed to be done. It was also senior night for us, so we got to honor our 13 seniors, and we got to give them a victory for their senior night.
Well, that's always nice to send them out on senior night with the win. You put 42 points on the board last night. Who played well for you offensively?
We actually all phases of the game played really well. Connor Marlatt led us offensively. He had 2 rushing touchdowns on the night. We also blocked a punt last night. We returned a punt for a touchdown last night. Aiden White ran one back 80 yards for a touchdown. Spencer Lehman ran in a touchdown. Connor Marlatt threw a touchdown pass to Zion Rodriguez for 35 yards. And then we had one of our freshmen in the fourth quarter. He got in on the action, too, and ran a 65-yard touchdown run. Our freshman quarterback, Felipe Bazan, broke it through the middle and went down the sideline and ended up getting a score for us there at the end to make it 42-0. So it was nice to be able to get a lot of people some time last night. We had a total of 10 guys that ran the ball, so it was just nice to get a lot of people in there. And it was a little difficult because we only ran 28 offensive plays, so to be able to have 10 different guys carry the ball, it was nice to see.
Wow, only 28 offensive plays and to put 42 points on the board, that's pretty impressive.
Yeah, it was some of it was short field position. We had, again, the punt return for a touchdown. The block punt set us up in really good field position. It set us up inside the 10. So just overall, a lot of it was a team effort. All three phases were working together and put us in some really good positions. Defensively, we were led by Spencer Lehman, who had 9 total tackles. Jacob Pilarski did a really nice job for us as well. He had 8 total tackles. Buzz Beiswinger up front did a really nice job for us with 7 total tackles. And the defensive line, we had, and I think I've told you guys this before, but we've got 7 or 8 guys that we feel pretty comfortable rotating in up there, and we were able to finally get the health of some of those guys back. So we were at a full rotation last night. So it was good effort by all those guys up front, and they were able to close running lanes for North Newton and control the line of scrimmage. So that was nice to see. And then it allowed the linebackers then to flow pretty well and get to where they needed to get to make some plays.
All right. Again, 2-0 in the conference, but doesn't get any easier. Next week, you travel to South Newton. The Rebels, much improved. They're 4-1 on the season. I think they're coming in undefeated in the conference. So huge matchup down in South Newton next week. What do you know about the Rebels?
Well, as you said, they're undefeated in the conference. They went through a time period there where they had lost, I think it was almost 50, close to 50 games, and they've turned it around the last couple of years. Last year they went 5-5, which was their first wins in, I think it was almost 5 years. And then this year they're sitting at 4-1. They're 2-0 in conference. They've beaten the same 2 teams we have in conference, so we've got some similarities there. And if you look at our schedule, these last 4 games, every one of them is going to be more and more difficult as we go through it. And it's we got to be up for them. We got to be focused in on during practice and make sure we were taking care of the things that we can take care of and control. We were when we had the jamboree for the conference this year. We did get to play South Newton, so we do have some familiarity there that we have an idea of what they're going to try to do. But even then, like it's, as you said, it's both of us are undefeated in conference right now, so this is a big game as far as the conference standings are concerned. So with it being at their place, I think for them it's going to be senior night, so they're going to be ready for the game, and they might throw out some tricky type plays there and try to confuse us some things.
So let me ask you real quick. And we talked about this in the pregame show. You weren't able to make it to, but you actually participated in a jamboree and not the traditional scrimmage.
Yes.
So, what's your opinion on that? Do you prefer the jamboree over the scrimmage, or would you like to go back to a scrimmage type setting?
It was interesting. Years ago, they used to do jamborees,
right?
And it was before I was even in high school. They did jamborees. I remember going to them when I was in like elementary and like junior high age. But then once I got to high school, it was all scrimmages. So that's all I really knew. And then all throughout coaching until this year has been scrimmages. So it was interesting. You got to see a couple different teams instead of just the one. So in how we ran ours it was a jamboree, but at the same time it was similar to the scrimmage structure. So we were against one team for a certain amount of time, and then we flipped from offense to defense, and then we went against the next group and went a certain amount of time for offense and defense. And I know that one of the ADs afterwards said they wanted to tweak some things as far as how they did the jamboree, but I mean it was from the standpoint of just going against one group or one team, it was nice to see multiples. It was, I guess, a little more difficult to get some of the younger kids in because there wasn't like a set aside time or set aside certain plays like this is for a JV group or the younger group. So that was, I guess, a little bit challenging because you want to get those guys in, but at the same time, you don't want to put them in situations that, like the other team you're playing against, if they didn't put anybody in that's younger, like you don't want to just put your kids out there and have them get beat on a little bit. So that was a little bit trickier trying to get some of those younger kids in, but we were able to do that at least. Like we just kind of made up the decision of those last, like they were 15-minute segments. We just made the decision of the last 6, last 7, somewhere in there, we're going to put our younger guys in, and luckily we had the other teams we were playing against did mostly the same thing. So it was nice to get those guys in there then.
Were you able to get any special team snaps in, or was it just offense, defense?
Yeah, it was just all offense and defense. And in the scrimmage schedule, one of the plans that you can pick is just offense and defense without the kicking. So it's in that aspect, it's very similar. If you're like total plays, it was comparable. I think in the overall, because we did 2 15-minute segments of defense and 2 15-minute segments of offense, I think we were somewhere around 80 plays in that time period. So it was comparable to, I think, one of the scripts on there of the scrimmages that you could have picked. So I didn't think it was too bad of a thing that we did.
Okay, the next question I have for you, you have South Newton coming up this week, big conference game, both teams undefeated. But again, we're talking about high school kids, and they look ahead at that schedule, and they look at next week, the following week, the Battle of Pulaski County in Winamac. How do you keep the kids focused one game at a time and just solely focused on South Newton this week?
Well, it is a challenging. Like we've mentioned it because, as you said, like it's high school kids. They look ahead, and we talk about in a certain amount of weeks. Then we can look at that. But we've tried to keep, as we've gone through. The closer we get, we got to worry about this team first. But yes, that one's going to be up there. We'll get to it at that time. But we might look at hey, what they do? What are their scores looking like? But then we try to rein it back in of, right, if we wanted to make it, because that's an important night, we've got to make sure we're taking care of what we need to do. So we try to address it a little bit of just overall what they're doing, but at the same time, take care of what's in front of us first.
All right, we're talking to Marc Hall, the head coach of the 4-1 West Central Trojans. That sounds pretty good, doesn't it, Coach?
Yes, it does. It sounds really nice.
Really nice. Last question here. How's the health of the ball club?
Good. We had a couple kids last week and this week that we've held out from some of our practices or not has done as much in practice, like maybe just go through some of the individual stuff, just to help them heal up on some things. And so those guys are back to closer to being pretty good. And again, as we've talked about before, like there's no 100% anymore.
Right.
So it's as good as they can be at this point when we're over halfway through the regular season.
Marc Hall, the West Central Trojans, we appreciate your time as always, Marc. Thanks so much, and until next week, you have a good one.
All right, thank you. You too.
All right, we're going to take a break, but don't go anywhere. We've got more coming your way. Mike Zehner, the Culver Cavs, is coming up next. You're listening to the Saturday Sports Line on Kankakee Valley Broadcasting's WKBI.
Life is busy. At First Farmers Bank and Trust, we know that your time is valuable. That's why we offer mobile banking, online account opening, and mobile check deposit. So you can take care of your banking and get back to the people who matter most to you, while we take care of the people who matter most to us, our customers. Visit us online at ffbt.com to learn more. First Farmers Bank and Trust. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
The Stark County Co-op has been a member-owned farm services co-op in Stark County since 1928. That's over 90 years, and they're still providing the same quality agronomy services to the farming community of Stark and surrounding counties. The Stark County Co-op is an LP and fuel provider. The Stark County Co-op purchases grain at both locations, Hamlet and Brems. You can reach them by phone at 1-800-782-3392.
This presentation of our area's local high school sports is sponsored by Pulaski Memorial Hospital in Winamac. Pulaski Memorial Hospital is dedicated to providing excellent health care to improve the health and quality of life for the people and the community they serve. They will meet the community's needs and exceed their expectations by creating the best possible health care experience. For more information of the services they provide, call 946-2100.
Stay tuned for more sports talk with Mitch Columbi on Kankakee Valley Broadcasting's WKVI.
You know who it is, Kankakee Valley Broadcasting's WKVI, right here in the Pulaski Memorial Hospital studios. Mitch Columbi along with sports analyst Chris McGowan. We have Culver Cavaliers athletic director and head football coach on the line. Let's bring him in. It's Mike Zehner of the Culver Cavs. Good morning, Mike. How are you?
Hey, morning, guys. How are you?
Not too bad. Not too bad. Looking at the old schedule last night, you had to make that trip to Bourbon. Never a nice place to play. One of my least favorites. I'll be honest with you. But
I think there's only one kind of good bourbon, right?
We won't go there. I plead the fifth. But anyway, you come up short, 42-0. Now this isn't the Triton of old. They've kind of getting that swagger back on the football side of things. They've been successful in girls basketball, boys basketball for the longest time. But again, this isn't the Triton football team of old. They're pretty darn good.
Yeah, Coach Eunice got it going. They got some good players. Obviously, the Shoe kid, their quarterback Shively. I was probably more impressed with their offense and defensive lines. I thought they did some nice things last night. So very impressed with those guys. And I thought we did actually a pretty good job in that first quarter and a half. I think it was 0-0 partway through the second there. And then, we our depth and what we do, sometimes it's tough. We had our starting center out last night and, doing the shotgun snaps and this and that. That's tough. But I felt like the guys we filled in there, hey, I'm just letting you know, Chris Kling just sunk probably a 40-foot putt here just a second ago. So
where are you at right now,
goodness.
Mike? Where are you at?
We actually have our athletic golf outing today. So I got Kyle Kling and Shane Lowry, and Chris Davis is our team. So
that's one heck of a group right there. And I tell you what,
he said he's going to chant and shout out from the background. Let you know how much he loves you.
I'll never hear the end of that 40-foot putt. Seriously.
We'll say it was 40 foot.
Well, hey, Mike,
probably 6 inches, but anyway.
Mike, we didn't really get a chance to talk about this on the air, and I was a little disappointed. We needed to talk about Shane Schumann breaking the all-time rushing record there at Culver. I just wanted to shine a light on that. That is a big deal. When did he do that? Did he do that last weekend, or was it the week before?
Last weekend, actually, he broke over 3,000 yards as a career.
That's what I thought. I saw it on social media, and I thought, well, heck, Mike didn't bring that up in the sports line. I feel terrible.
Hey, that's all right. There's a lot of things going on. Obviously, Shane's been a big player for us his entire career as a senior this year. That's probably the thing that he has going for him. He's been a rock for us. He's been a two-time All-State, as a sophomore and a junior, and he's done some really nice things for us, and that helps. It helps us, obviously. I think the other backs, we've had good backs go through Culver, and a lot of those guys only started 1 or 2 years, as a junior and senior. But Shane's been our go-to guy here probably for the last 3 years, and so hats off to him. But he'll be the first one to tell you the guys up front are pretty good, and they do a nice job. And I know we got sidechecked there, but not having Steven last night definitely made a difference. And in what we did and how we approached things. But we did a nice job of moving Braden Moldash over to center. It was kind of a try all. We thought, Travis Blankenship was probably going to be our center on, Monday or Tuesday. And then, with shotgun snaps and what they do there, it's tough to do. And then I think Braden ended up being the most consistent, and he played well. He played well for us. But anytime we're doing, switching guys around, that's always tough against a good defensive line.
You talk about Shane Schumann. The kid had been there, seems like, for forever. As a freshman, been a starting running back. And for the people that have never played this sport, I don't think they fully understand the abuse you put on your body week in and week out. And for him, for 4 years now, to be the workhorse that he's been for you guys is just a testament to your strength and conditioning program there at Culver. You want to comment on that?
Yeah, since Kling's here, I'll make sure I do get him.
I'm feeding into that ego for you. So you'll be spending the rest of the day with him. So that's why I'm doing this right now.
I appreciate that. He's not even listening, so he's trying to tee off.
Gee, thanks.
I think you guys drive her out on a par 3. Yeah. I think you've golfed out. We'll golf with him, but no. Obviously, he has. He's done a nice job. Kyle does an awesome job inside the weight room. I know you've been a part of that when you guys coach together at Judson.
Yeah.
He does. He's a motivator. He's fun to be around, and Shane's pretty calm and collected. He's not a guy that's a real rah guy. You think your leaders being in your face and doing that. I think we have that in Oliver Morgan. I think he does a great job there. He's a weight room guy and really an emotional leader. But Shane, man, he's going to come to work every day. He's going to work hard, and you're going to get Shane, the same Shane, all the time. He's not going to be in your face and spitting and yelling and doing those things. He's just going to lead by example and do it the right way. And he's done a nice job throughout his career for us. Yeah,
that's what I was thinking. He's a leader by example. And again, to carry the ball 30 times a game and to line back up the following week and just do it again and do that for 4 years says a lot about the kid. Okay, let's get back to team here. I'm looking at the schedule, Coach, and it's loss, win, loss, win, loss. So can I go ahead and pencil you down for the W next week against Winamac?
Hey, we're undefeated at home too. Don't forget about that. So we're hoping. It's going to be Military Appreciation Night. We have, obviously we've had a really good following when it comes to the military. And our guys, either football players or guys from Culver going into the military. And, we got one, Ian Brown, who missed week 1, got to play against South Central because he was still at basic training. So pretty exciting to be able to do that and be a part of that. And, football is just a small part of what these kids do. But, hopefully that prepares them for later on in life so they can lead those careers and be, in the military and lead by example. And I think Ian's a great example of that.
So what do you know about the Warriors and what concerns you going into next week?
I know they lost a lot of people, right? Like they're one of those teams that, hey, they lost a ton of seniors, blah, blah, blah. But I think you throw those out. Those guys also practice against those seniors. They're going to be battle tested. They're going to be good. I think maybe earlier in the season, that's a better situation for them. For a team playing them, but I think they're getting better each and every week. Watching them, they move the ball, they do some good things defensively. They're going to present a lot of problems. Coach Hendricks and Coach Burgess does a nice job over there, and they'll have them rolling. There's not going to be much difference. It'll be fun. It'll be a battle. A nice little chess match, but we're excited. We're excited to get back home and get back to playing Cavalier style football.
We're talking with head coach of the Culver Cavs, Mike Zehner, this morning. He's on the front 9 of what golf course, and what's your handicap, Coach?
Handicap would explain everything about my golf game, but
well, his handicap. I was going to say your handicap is Kyle Kling, but anyway,
we're at Pretty Lake. This is our really our only athletic and scholarship fundraiser. Nice. It's been this is our 31st annual golf outing. Half the money goes to athletics, half of it goes to our scholarship fund for our kids, and I think we got 27 teams out today, so great outing, great showing. It's a beautiful day, and we appreciate Pretty Lake allowing us to put this on.
What number can they call if they'd like to donate?
They can call the school. We do have a lot of whole sponsors. We want to thank those guys. But yeah, we do a whole sponsorship, and that we get an ad obviously on the field or on the golf course, and then we do a winter ad in for our programs, and they're in that as well.
Pretty Lake, long, narrow. Got to be straight, accurate off the tee, Coach.
Everything I'm not, right?
Right, exactly. Me too. I'm right there with you. But again, the Winamac Warriors, I tell you what, last night, and then we're going to talk to Coach Lambert here in a second, and Burgess in the second hour, Coach Burgess. But outside of about 6.5 minutes, it was a battle. About the last 6 minutes of the second quarter, and then the very first play of the second half, North Judson puts 3 scores up in a matter of about 6.5 minutes to really blow it open. But tell you what, those young kids from Winamac came and battled, and you could definitely tell it was a rivalry game. So can't take anything for granted next week. One last question. How's the health of the ball club?
We were good. We're good coming out of last night. Obviously, Steven didn't play last night, so hoping he should be good to go next week, and that'll give us a little more depth on the offense and defensive lines, and hopefully we can roll and do some good things. But yeah, I know it was a close game there. Watching the film and breaking those down, and anytime you get a rival game, anytime you get Winamac and Judson together, it's going to be like that.
So let me get this straight. You played last night. You've already watched the game film from last night, Judson Winamac, and now you're out on the golf course. That's pretty impressive.
Yeah, you know how it is with sleep and being a coach, right?
Right. Oh, yeah. Zero sleep. That's what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, I get about 2-3 hours every weekend, and then you guys probably get 0. So.
Well, yeah, and he gets to talk about it, and we're the ones that actually have to put the game plans together and get it executed, and
I just have to chat about it.
Right? Yeah, he just gets to talk about it, and he's not getting any sleep. So
I'm just an idiot. Well, Mike, we appreciate your time, and thank you so much for doing this on your day off, and we appreciate everything that you do over there at Culver, and good luck today on the golf course.
Hey, I appreciate it. Thanks, guys.
All right, have a good one.
That's head coach of the Culver Cavaliers, Mike Zehner. We're going to talk with Brett Lambert here in just a few minutes. Don't go anywhere. You're listening to Kankakee Valley Broadcasting's WKBI.
The way we used to be.
Since 1936, Standard Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning have always taken pride in doing the job right. Third-generation owner Bryan Hammond and his family have always set the standard when it comes to taking care of all your heating and cooling needs. Making your home a comfortable home is the absolute top priority. If you are uncomfortable in your home, give them a call at 574-936-4660. Follow them on Facebook. Let Standard Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning help you take control of your comfort.
Coke knows there's nothing better than the beat of the summer. The beat begins in a simple and mellow place, from low-key to hyped up. So we're helping you and your friends drink it all in with 100 days of the artist's experiences, tracks, and concerts with the best names in music, all at Coke Studio. Drink, scan, and enjoy your Coke so you never miss out on all the amazing offers we're dropping this summer.
Let's continue the conversation with area high school coaches and more on the Saturday Sports Line.
Welcome back to the Pulaski Memorial Hospital Studios. Mitch Columbia along with sports analyst Chris McGowan. And we've got our first guest in-house this morning. It's Brett Lambert, head coach of the North Judson-San Blue Jays, coming off a big win last night over the Winamac Warriors. Brett, good morning. Thanks for coming in and sharing your time with us. How are you?
Good. Another victory, so
yeah.
We're happy.
Looking at the schedule here, you gave up 12 points week 1, 8 points week 2, and then you haven't given up a single point since, Coach. Only given up 4 points defensively, 3 shutouts in a row. Care to talk about that defense a little bit?
Defense has been great. I mean, you just alluded to that. And even in the casting game week 2, I think they scored on our JV with like 2 minutes to go. So the varsity, gave up a touchdown or 2 to Culver. But otherwise the varsity defense has been doing an excellent job. And you guys saw it firsthand the last 2 weeks. Quentin Frazier, just to start with him, does an excellent job of just putting the guys in the right spot. Coach Howard sets it up and does an awesome job, but Quentin's the guy on the field who gets it done. Like last night, he had 14 tackles, he had a sack, had a few tackles for loss. He did an excellent job for us there. And then next to him we got Connor Benson, who Connor, we really worked him back in this year because he was coming off of surgery in the off season. But Connor had a big interception last night and returned it for a touchdown. And he's just he's a straight A student in the classroom, and just having him next to Quentin, who's also a very good student, and that's just those guys are leaders for us. The D line, I mean, they've been excellent. C.J. Sanchez, who's a freshman, and Johnny Conover, who's a junior. Two guys who were one in middle school last year, the other one a JV player, but they're really stepping up and doing an excellent job for us. And then Logan Radtke and Jackson Boyd at the ends doing it, and then just our defensive backs and outside linebackers got it done last night as well.
Yeah, you talk about that interception last night by Benson in pick 6 right after a timeout there in the second quarter, 7-0 game, tight ball game. Winamac actually driving again, but the front four being able to put the pressure on Cash Roth and forced hit as he threw it. And
that was our play of the game, wasn't it?
Yeah, our play of the game was the pick 6. But again, that front four being able to put the pressure on the quarterback and Benson once he caught the interception, knowing exactly what to do with it.
Absolutely, I mean, and he's a play. We got a lot of playmakers. He's another one of them. And they got the ball first, then we forced. I think it was a 3-and-out. We got the ball back right away, and kind of methodically went down the field and scored. So 4 minutes to go in the first quarter. It's 7-0. But just it felt like we had a turnover somewhere in there, and just a penalty or two that were just kind of untimely and undisciplined on our part. So I wasn't feeling like this is no offense to Winamac. I know you could tell we were the better team, but it was 7-0. Like you said, it's midway through the second, and they're taking the ball down the field, and they just had I think it was a hitch and go route on us, and they got us. And that's when finally I just said enough's enough, and just called a timeout and talked to the guys, and there really, honestly, wasn't any screaming going on. It was just, guys, I mean, everything I just told you guys, I told them, and, we're not playing very disciplined. We're going through the motions, and it's time to pick it up. I mean, it's time to play like a championship team, and they did. I mean, a few plays later, Connor gets an interception. Then we get the ball back again. We score before half. And then really going into the second half, the opening kickoff, Trey McGowan takes it, to the house for a touchdown, which is awesome because, one, I just said we have a lot of weapons. We do, and people see Cheyenne back there as that deep return guy. So I don't know if he's had a return all year.
Right, yeah, nobody's going to, yeah, you'd be crazy to kick to him.
Which I get that, but now the other teams are kicking it shorter, but they're kicking it to other guys who are playmakers, so it's like, okay, that's fine with us. If you don't want to kick it deep to him, kick it to our other guys. We'll take every one of those guys we got in 11 on the return team. I don't care if they all get the ball because they can return it.
Yeah, where that was kicked last night, I was standing right. It happened right in front of me. I had a perfect angle, and Trey picks it up, and it looked like it was going to be a middle return. He takes like 2 steps, and he's like, "Wait a second, everybody's there. I'm going to put my right foot in the ground, turn left, makes one guy miss, and down the sideline he goes, and just a big opening." Play to start the second half for you guys. But again, Quentin Frazier, we actually named player of the game last night defensively, with the 14 tackles. Again, just a great game. Now, offensively, to me, early on, I think the play in that first drive, you guys, you get a first down. Next play, you get a penalty. You set yourself back. You're like 3rd and 17. Aldrich Harper drops back and didn't like what he saw down the field and decides to scramble and pick up about 27 yards there and pick up the first down. You guys end up punching it in. So a big play there by Aldrich Harper with his feet.
Absolutely. And I think for the night, he was just over 100 yards rushing. He led us in rushing. Cheyenne and Brock were both around, 60-something yards. But yeah, just what he can do there, and we know that. We know when he drops back for a pass that he has the ability to decide not to pass it and run, and we're fine with that as well. And I think that'll give him – we want him to throw the ball if it's open.
Right.
I think that'll give him even more confidence as we get through the year because we're going to see some good teams coming up, great teams coming up. So we're going to need some plays that are maybe a little unorthodox, but I think he's capable of doing that.
We're talking with head coach of the North Judson-San Pierre Blue Jays, Brett Lambert. And, Brett, last night we kind of joked on the air. We said that timeout may have actually been the play of the game.
I mean, it wasn't. Again, it's all about the kids, but sometimes they just need to. Because we called everybody. There wasn't 11 guys. I called the whole
team.
Yeah, that's what I said. I said there's about 50 guys in about a 10-yard circle.
Again, it really. I can yell. Trust me. It wasn't that. It was just. Hey, what do we need to do? And they executed, and it might have refocused them just a little bit. And they needed it.
And then they had the pick six, and then they scored another touchdown. It was just a quick 14 points on the board where we went almost the first whole half just with 7 points. So we just really thought that timeout couldn't have come at a better time for you, and evidently the kids look up to you. They really appreciate what you have to say to them on the field. And I think that speaks volumes because you could call timeouts till you're blue in the face, and not all the times timeouts work because sometimes kids tune the coach out. But it sounds like they are on the same page with you, and they want the same exact thing that you do.
Well, I like to think that, and I think just the whole coaching staff in general. I mean, I think we have great relationships with the kids. And maybe not every coach with every player, because there's enough players it's hard to do, but we have enough coaches that there's going to be a relationship with some different kids along the way. So yeah, I would say that's true just for our whole staff, not just myself.
All right, 2 big rivalry games, Knox and Winamac, and now you take on the Academy. Coach Durrell's been there. It seems like a long time at the Academy, at Culver Academy. What do you know about the Eagles?
Don't let the record fool you. I think that's the first thing. They're 1-4, but if you look at who they played, they just played Burbuff, who was state runners-up last year in 3A, 4A. They've lost to Hobart, who has a really good team. They lost to Hanover Central, who's undefeated. And a lot of times, CMA can start a little slow because they don't, see their kids over the summer quite like a normal school would. So a lot of times they're kind of a slow starting team during the season, and of course we're in week 6 now, so they might start picking it up here. But they have athletic ability. They definitely have some talent there. Because you said, Andy's done a great job there. He's been there 20-something years. It's been a while. He's got a lot of wins, and I'm sure they see us as a great opportunity, as a ranked team, but maybe a smaller school. So we need to go in there knowing that they're going to be hyped up for this, and there's no doubt we're going to be hyped up as well. And it's great. This is a great non-conference game for us because it's a bigger school. We know they're going to have athletes. This is one of those games that when we put it on the schedule a few years ago, it wasn't like, hey, this is a guaranteed win. Well, that's not the case at all. I mean, we knew that we might lose some games in this series, but in the long run, it's going to help us when it matters the most in October and November. But yeah, this is one that we're excited about. I think it's Hometown Heroes Night at North Judson, and we're going to be wearing the National Guard uniforms. We're going to be wearing a black uniform.
Nice.
Black uniform, gold helmets. I'm a Purdue fan, so I'm a little bit excited about that.
I am too now. I might be able to read the numbers.
So yeah, I might be able to read the numbers.
I'll tell you, I can't read your jersey's numbers. I'm not being mean. They are tough to read, even for him on the sideline.
The white uniforms, the away ones. I mean, according to the IHSA rules, they are legal uniforms, but it's just, we have a lot of fans complain. So if there's anybody who wants to give donations out white uniforms, we will take that. But yeah,
they're still nice looking. They look sharp.
They are. They're very sharp.
They're really good looking.
And again, as coaches, we can read them because we're on the sideline. Plus, we just know who the kids are.
Right.
But we hear that complaint quite a bit, so it's not just.
So next week it's black and gold.
It's kind of like the gold helmets and the black.
That'll be slick.
I'll be honest with you. I was on Winamac sideline with the pick 6. I couldn't tell who intercepted. I had no idea. Not till the second half. Like we're after the opening kickoff return or whatever, and Ray Frazier, I look at him, I take the headset off, and hey, Ray, who had that? Who was the pick 6? Then and then he told me, so I corrected it on air, but it was hard for me even on the sidelines to see who picked it off and returned it.
We always joke as coaches that when we wear those uniforms, and like if you listen to someone like the online or telecast and stuff from other schools like RCTV and stuff like that. They just always say it's Cheyenne Allen.
That sounds like my first week.
It could be anybody,
right?
But Cheyenne Allen with the pass, catch, block. I mean, we joke about that as coaches. So they take a guess that Cheyenne Allen.
So, correct me if I'm wrong, how's Gabe Ellis doing this morning? Was that just cramp issues?
Definitely cramping. I mean, he's probably got to do a better job of hydrating during the week, and he does. Don't get me wrong; he's been trying, but he needs to do a little bit more. He's a muscular kid. And he plays a lot for us. He plays hard, so that was cramping. But I'm ready for 60-degree weather. That cramping usually starts to go away.
Well, so and I've talked to Chris about this before. I've just been lucky, I guess. I didn't play football, but I never had a cramp, so I didn't really understand. Once one goes down, then 3 or 4 happen, and I was just trying to get in. I drink a gallon of water a day. Is that a good range of what you need to go for, or what do you have to do to make sure that doesn't happen?
There's a lot to it. I mean, part of it's just not to get too technical here. When you go to the bathroom, what color's your urine? I mean, if it's yellow, you're not hydrated.
Right.
You want it to be clear. I know on game day we preach even during the day, just Gatorade, getting electrolytes into you, because a lot of times they say that the water, if you drink too much water on game day, it can actually cleanse you or rinse out the electrolytes. More during the day. You probably need to do that more with Gabe. But just somebody, back when I played years and years ago, it seemed like those first few games when it was 89 degrees, I was in good shape. But I cramped up. And
really?
It does not feel good.
No, it's not a good feeling. But be thankful. Be thankful you haven't got one.
And Coach Russ Radtke of the Knox Redskins said last week, when guys are out there banging up against each other and bodies are on the line, that's when cramping happens. And he seemed to think that was a testament of that they're actually out there hitting people.
Well, and you're just trying really hard.
Right.
You have to play a full game, and there's a lot to that.
And it just seems that to me, it's always what's always mind-boggled me is the fact that once that first one happens, it catches like wildfire, and then everybody just starts dropping like a domino effect. And that, to me, I don't know if that's a mental thing or it's like I've seen somebody else go, okay, so now it's going to happen. So let's just get it over with.
Well, you're right, and I don't know if we had another one other than Gabe, but as soon as Gabe went down, it was like 2 plays later.
Yes,
it goes down. Right,
next play,
right.
Another one, yeah. It really is contagious.
It's contagious, and I don't know why that is, but it's always been that way. But back to your schedule here. We look at this. You got Culver Academy coming to Liberty Field next week. Then after that, you got a very good Triton Trojan team coming to Liberty Field. And then 3 weeks, you have to go to LaVille, who's getting the job done. And then you finish with Pioneer. So the back half of this schedule, boy, if that doesn't get you ready for it's playoff football, I don't know what will.
Well, and with that, again, we truly are just one game at a time. We'll concentrate on CMA this week, but since you brought up the question, Triton's a sectional opponent, Pioneer's a sectional opponent, so 2 of those last 4 teams are sectional opponents, and 2 of the favorites to win it, probably along with us. So yeah, this next 4 weeks, it's not make or break. We could go 0-4. And still be a sectional champion.
Right.
For that.
Exactly.
I don't want to do that.
But,
But there's 4, quality opponents there for sure. So whether we, go 0-4, 4-0, this will prepare us for the playoffs, and that's money time. That's what it's all about, is the playoffs.
Okay, last question. 2 physical games here the last 2 weeks, and the rivalry games with Knox and Winamac. How's the health of the ball club?
We'll be at full health next week against CMA, barring something happening in practice. But yeah, everybody's got aches and pains right now. We do as well, but yeah, we'll be full go for CMA.
Well, Coach, we appreciate your time as always. I always appreciate you letting me come to practice throughout the week, kind of get an idea of what I'm going to see throughout the weekend, and kind of get to take some pictures of you out there and stuff. So I really do appreciate it. I know you're a busy guy, but it just really means a lot to me that you allow all the access that you do for me. I appreciate it.
Well, I appreciate you doing that and being there. I think the kids really like that as well.
Oh, really? Well, I kind of got a feeling it was a bad idea, but I appreciate you saying that. I sometimes feel like I'm in the way, so I appreciate that. Well, thank you. All right, we're going to take a break and come back. We've got head coach of the Knox Redskins, Russ Radtke, in-house. Don't go anywhere. You're listening to Kankakee Valley Broadcasting's WKVI.
Collins Insurance Agency in Knox has done it again. They have earned the distinction of preferred agency partner from the Western Reserve Insurance Company.
Can't touch this.
So what does that mean for you? Collins Insurance Agency provides themselves of taking care of its community. That means providing the best insurance that keeps you and your family safe in a time of need. And with this honor, Collins Insurance Agency looks forward to providing Stark and surrounding counties the best customer service you and your family deserve. Collins Insurance Agency in Knox, living the golden rule by treating you like family. Welcome to Marian University's newest location, Ancilla College of Marian University. Marian's newest campus location in Plymouth is your home for an on-campus college experience. From living in the dorms to being a collegiate student-athlete, Marian University is ranked 3rd most innovative Midwest university by U.S. News & World Report. For more information about our 2- or 4-year degrees, go to www.marian.edu/Ancilla. That's www.marian.edu/Ancilla.
You're listening to Mitch Columbi and Chris McGowan on Kankakee Valley Broadcasting's WKVI.
Back for more here at the Pulaski Memorial Hospital studios. We have Russ Radtke, head coach of the Knox Redskins, in-house as he gets his headset on. He still thinks he lost his glasses here at the station. And I've asked everybody in the entire building for these glasses, Russ. I promise you, we don't have them here. I've looked everywhere. Unless Rich Wallen, our morning guy, has them, but I don't think I asked him if he found them. He said he didn't find them.
They're good pairs, so we're having fun with them.
Comes in here every week looking for them. He swears they're here. They're here somewhere.
All right, Coach. Last Saturday, you came in. You talked that you guys were going to get back to work, and it was going to start Saturday morning after the radio show. And it looks like your kids responded last night with a 42-21 victory over John Glenn. It's always tough to go to Walkerton and play at John Glenn, a tough place to play. And your Redskins were able to get it done. Who played well for you last night?
Well, I think one of the comments you made, you go to John Glenn, that's just an atmosphere as their homecoming. It's a tough place to play. I can remember back in the 1980s trying to get it done with the Finger Huts and Bobby Salmus. At halftime, Hank Orkus is after Bobby Salmus wanting to know why he's tackling the fullback and he's a defensive halfback. So it's just an environment. The kids get messed up a little bit. And, that we were down at halftime, I believe, 21-20. And they came out and shut them out the second half, did a great job. But, again, it's a attribute, I think, to our staff and our players. They never ran a single formation or play that we had prepared for or they had run all year.
Wow.
Now, did they do that because of us or that they're trying to get better? I don't know. But they threw 47 times. The game took over 3 hours. There was 300 yards of penalties. Over 300 yards of penalties. Not just on us. But pass interference is beyond belief.
Wow.
You get in critical down situation, things that's going to happen. Next thing you know, they get a first down. So it was a strange game, and luckily our offense clicked and did the things that needed to be. I think on the first play of the game we scored a touchdown. So atmosphere-wise and so forth, community was there, great backing, and I think that the excitement's there that you can get back to. We lost to Rochester, we lost to North Judson, both very good football teams. We played hard. Some things went wrong. The big thing is last night we got some turnovers finally. We finally took the ball away from them. That's a part of the game.
Right,
You play Rochester, they never turned it over, never punted. You play North Judson, we made them punt 2 or 3 times, but they never turned it over. And we had chances, but we did it. So, that's a part of execution, and champion teams work like that.
You're talking about all those penalties and then, 47 pass attempts, as a player and as a coach, it's hard to get into a rhythm when that happens.
Especially the secondary that has to be. I mean, the first play of the game, they set up in a formation. We didn't even have a guy on the wideout. They threw the guy the ball and he runs down the sidelines. Luckily, we got over and got a hold of him. But these are things that is the big picture that really have to give it to the staff. We shut them out completely the second half. And kept them out of the they got in the red zone, I think, once time, and still was able to stop them. And coaching staff at halftime getting in there, working, trying to set up a defense that adjusts to what they're doing was done quite well by Coach Julio Cisneros and Coach Marsh. And, those 2 guys working together with our Coach Bolin. Those 3 guys, all they do is think defense all the time. So they got to come up with some ideas, and that's what they were able to do.
Offensively, I actually saw the highlights last night on the news. First play of the game, Cohen Watson goes 44 yards untouched. So it's a great start. You get that offense rolling. Who else played well for you offensively?
Well, I think the backs all together, they worked it well together. You get Cohen back there working with Xavier Roman, number 20, and then you give him the opportunity to work with our other running backs that really come on. One of them's only a freshman that had great yardage last night for us. That was able to do the, Miles McLaughlin being able to get his assignments down along with Jake Conroy. Those guys working together really causes a little bit of control of an entire field.
Right.
We don't spread out over the field, but the ball can hit anywhere on the field. And I think the big plays, and we had 1 or 2 touchdowns called back that were 70-yarders or whatever. They got called for holding or whatever. So overall, I'd say that they're really getting used to each other a lot better and being able to make compliments of what they're able to do with their faking and their controlling.
Well, I don't know if it's changed since last week, but when we were at your game last weekend, I read some of the stats, and as big a running game you have, I was surprised that your quarterback was leading at the time in rushing yards. Cohen Watson was leading in rushing yards for the season as of last week. I don't know if that's changed this week, but when you look at your running attack and Miles McLaughlin, Xavier Roman, and Jake Conroy, I thought one of those guys would be your leading rusher, and no, it was Cohen Watson, the senior, and that's a testament to what you were talking to me about. He's a runner. He comes from running. He was a middle school track runner. He's he's tall. So I was really impressed that he is your rushing leader. I don't know if that's changed now this week since what happened last night.
Well, last night I think they got in there at halftime. And again, if you give me 2 or 3 halftimes, like in soccer, don't they get 3 or 4? If you give me more halftimes or longer ones, we'd be even better than we are. Because you got to be able to readjust and do what's going on. And when Tyler and Bo and Coach White got in there and got the audibles straightened out, that Watson had to do like you're saying, sometimes he has to call his own number and make the read. It's not all on automatically that's what's going to happen. The option run and whatever's going to take place back there out of the backfield, anybody can come out of there with it. And if you don't disguise it and control it, and that's nothing about the situation, but North Judson's defense was very aggressive and was able to cause some kind of chaotic decisions. And next thing we're out there with the ball, and they've got 3 guys out there already waiting for you. So you've got to be able to get that part back down. And I think they complement each other quite well. And, it's tough, especially to learn that you better block also. The option games, stuff like Judson do. If you don't block, you're not going to get the ball. So sometimes Cohen's got to block too. So even though he's giving the ball off, he's got to come back and be that blocker if the ball's coming back in his direction. So all of it coordinating it together, and it's a building process, and we're just glad to be 3-2 right now and getting to play 3 out of the next 4 games at home. So that's a big thing, especially on the road as far off as we were in John Glenn. This is just a factor that we always look forward to.
All right, speaking of aggressive defenses, you have LaVille coming to Community Field next week, and they are on a roll right now, coming off a victory over Caston last night, 63-6. Just a very good team. Got 22 starters coming back from last year's team. What concerns you about the Lancers?
Well, I would say, again, this is a team that complements itself with the fact that, sometimes you like to have 45, 50 kids, okay? But then if you only got 23, then those are very, 25 or so, those guys are going to really come off and do things execution-wise. Haven't been able to get the chance to look at any film or situations yet of how we're going to do that. But you've really got to be assignment football and realize that offense is going to have to keep the ball, our offense is going to have to keep the ball away from them.
Right.
We're going to have to really make sure the field position. But the thing is, I think they told me the other night that some guy was able to kick a field goal from 45 yards. And then their punting game.
Right.
And then kicks it off into the end zone.
Right.
And he's going to go 80 yards to try to score.
Yeah.
That's tough in high school football. And hopefully our type of football, though, can handle that and nickel and dime and get situations, so forth, to get big plays.
Yeah, again, Will Hostrauser has that LaVille Lancer since he's taken over several years ago, has that LaVille Lancer football program definitely headed in the right direction. So,
not to interrupt you, but what they've done that because they've been, those kids right now, they're seniors, and I think there's 7 or 8 of them on the offense. They've been running it since they're freshmen.
Right.
The quarterback started as a freshman. Those big linemen started as a freshman. You see what I'm saying? So when that maturates and you don't really adjust, but just put a couple little things here and there, it's a building to where you want to be. And it's part of our conference. I mean, we're tough. This whole conference can play right good football. And LaVille got thumped last year in the regional championship by Andrean. So I think they got that in the back of their mind. And they're playing with that kind of caliber football to get ready for that opportunity again.
All right, Coach. So going into that game next week, how's the health of the ball club?
Oh, everybody's fine. We're still waiting for the defensive lineman Binkley to get his opportunity to get cleaned up a little bit and be back for us in a tournament run. I believe he goes in for a minor surgery this week to get a knee cleaned up, and then he'll be back out there with us. But strength-wise and stamina of our kids and how hard they're working, I'm excited about it, and I'm just glad. And any head coach has to say this, and everybody's and every school better be appreciative of their assistant coaches, because this sport, more than any, with so many different kids and special teams and everything that has to go on, you better have a staff. You gotta have a staff that wants to be out there, not just there to take attendance and pick up the balls and make sure the towels are there. I mean, these are things that people have to feel that their staff, they come in and they say, here's what I want to do. Okay, I said, if you think it'll work and you can make sure this is still a sign, give them 1 or 2 cents, let them come up with a $1 exchange. And it works out really good.
I like that. I like that analogy.
Yeah.
We're talking with head coach of the Knox Redskins, Russ Radtke. Always gracious with his time. Thank you so much today. We appreciate it, and we always look forward to talking with you, Russ.
Well, it's an opportunity, no matter, and I got to give it to every staff member and head coaches throughout this whole area. None of them are taking a day off. Nobody sits on Sundays after church or whatever and just lackadaisical lays around. Everybody works hard. It's a great effort by everybody. There's always some administration. Someone thinks they know 2 cents more than us. But you don't see the football coaches going in and telling administrators how to control things at their school and how to get education, except that we'll provide the discipline or whatever is necessary for you so that you can get that atmosphere along. And I think when those things work together, you see great community and great situations. And people can feel good about it here in Stark County, because I think North Judson and Knox both are right in that level of accountability for what we're here for.
Well, it's good to see you back in that win column, Coach. We appreciate your time, and thank you so much. And until next week, you have a good one.
And the case for those glasses is black.
I promise you, I'm looking for them, Russ. I promise you. I've asked everybody in the station about it. I even asked Chris Milner, our secretary up front. We can't find him. I promise you. We looked everywhere. You're on my first priority every morning when I walk in here. I'm looking for Russ Radtke's reading glasses, because I know you got to read the plays. Well, I know you got to read the plays, so I got to get. I'm gonna get those glasses. This isn't I'm not doing this on purpose. I promise. Hey, we'll take a break. Top of the hour, we'll come back. We're going to listen to our Athlete of the Week interview. That's Zach Kimmel, who was awarded last week. He is a cross-country phenom from South Central. Don't go anywhere. It's time for the second hour of the Saturday Sports Line.
From the Pulaski Memorial Hospital studios, quality care closer to home. You're listening to WKVI FM 99.3. Knox, North Judson, Winamac, playing the best of vinyl gold. A service of Kankakee Valley Broadcasting.
Fox News, I'm Carmen Roberts. Republican governors stirring up controversy by sending migrants to sanctuary cities. White House Press Secretary Karine Jean-Pierre.
They used them as political pawns, treated them like chattel in a cruel, premeditated political stunt.
GOP Senator Ted Cruz tells Fox News Democrats only got in an uproar after the governor's actions.
50 illegal immigrants show up in lily white Martha's Vineyard, where rich liberals and billionaires sip Chardonnay, and it is World War III.
Massachusetts has moved the 50 immigrants to a military base. Tropical storm Fiona may trigger flooding in Puerto Rico today.
The big concern here, mudslides and a delicate power grid.
Fox Weather's Will Nunley in San Juan. In Alaska, residents are bracing for flooding from the remnants of a typhoon. America's listening to Fox News.
Wendy's knows cold and soggy fries are the worst.
So soggy.
That's why we're serving up hot and crispy fries all day, every day.
And all night until close.
With natural cut potatoes, sea salted to perfection.
Show me that potato skin.
Wendy's hot and crispy aren't like other fries. We're your dream fry. Choose wisely. Choose Wendy's hot and crispy fries.
Guaranteed to be hot and crispy. If yours aren't, bring them back and we'll replace them.
From the K99.3 Weather Center, here's your forecast. It'll be partly cloudy today. 83 will be your high. Tonight, cloudy and 64. For Sunday, cloudy, 85. Sunday night, cloudy. Showers, maybe a thunderstorm around. Low of 64. There's a 70% chance of rain. And Monday, cloudy. Showers, maybe a thunderstorm again, and a high of 80. 70% chance of rain. And things clear out Monday night. It'll be clear and 59. That's your weather forecast from the station that brings you Vinyl Gold, the best music of the 60s and 70s, WKVI.
It's time now for Hour 2 of the Saturday Sports Line with your host, Kankakee Valley Broadcasting's WKVI Sports Director, Mitch Columbi, and sports analyst, Chris McGowan.
Back at it here for Hour 2 on the Saturday Sports Line. Mitch Columbi, our sports analyst, Chris McGowan, so glad to be on hand for you. Had a chance to talk to our athlete of the week last week, Zach Kimmel, cross-country runner from South Central. Quite the amazing athlete, quite frankly. You need to hear this interview. Had a chance to sit down with him on, I think this was Wednesday, I believe. So here he is, cross-country phenom from South Central, Zach Kimmel.
Okay, Zach, well, tell me first about why you enjoy running competitively.
I like PRing, of course. I like just getting better, and I like how you can show your results, like 16:54 from a 17:03. I like how you can show that you're improving and you're just getting better.
So what is your personal record right now?
It is the 16:54 or 55, might be a second off or something like that, but it was yesterday's run is my PR.
So explain to our listeners what that may mean. To me, I never ran cross country. So what's a 16:50? What'd you say again? 16:54. 54. What's that mean to someone that doesn't have a clue about cross country?
It's your time for 3.16 miles. So it's pretty much a combination of all the training, the hard work, everything you've done this whole season. It's the work you've put in since the end of last season going into this season. So I'm excited that it's paying off. It feels great, but then again, there's a lot more PRing to happen. There's a lot more time to shave off. So I think that's just, I think I can shave off a lot more time than that. So it's definitely not where I want to be at the end of the season. So, I mean, yeah, it's just, I want to PR more and more and just get better.
And if I read this correctly, you went to semi-state last year.
Yes.
And that was as a sophomore.
Yes.
Tell me what that had to have been like for an experience like that as a sophomore in high school, knowing you have 2 years to go. Mm-hmm. I mean, you had to be pretty excited knowing you as a sophomore were that far along. Tell me about what you were thinking at that meet and what you know now from it going forward.
Oh yeah, so semi-state was awesome, of course. I loved the quickness of that race. It was very a lot of competition, very fast. A lot of guys pushing me right around my time range. So I didn't PR, but I was very close to a PR at that race, and that course is very tough. So it just goes to show you how quick it was, and like moving forward, it's just gonna show me that semi-state is a fast race, and you have to go out hard and you have to give it your all. So it's gonna be very close to make it to state. I'm like right on the edge of making it for the top 10 individuals. So it's
and you know that now.
Yeah, I know that now. I did the math. I took out all the seniors from last year. I took out the guys that were gonna projected make it out as a team. So we did the math. So I was 12th out of 10, I think, last time, but not including the PR I just had. So it's gonna be close. It's gonna be really close. So hopefully I can do it.
So what do you do in the off season to prepare yourself for this? It sounds like you're not just your average high school cross country runner. It sounds like you take care of your body throughout the whole year and make sure you're prepared. Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, just resting, recovering now. But back way back when, a couple months, it's building up the miles. It's getting the 60, close to 70 miles a week, building up the miles going into the season. So it's all about building up, and then getting workouts, and then racing, of course, and then recovering now.
So you love PRing. You got a 16:54 in 3.16 miles. That's your personal record right now.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So this morning when you woke up, what was the first thing that you thought of that you need to do moving forward?
Well, get faster, of course. But this morning when I woke up, I had the fire under my belt a little bit from losing yesterday. Which
was your first one of the year.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which you really didn't lose. You came in second.
Yeah.
So you're right there. And how close were you with the first and second?
A couple seconds.
He was right in your sights.
Yeah. So I beat him the first round of the PCC, and he got me the second round of the PCC. So now the third round's the championship. So it's gonna.
So you're ready for it.
It's gonna be close. I'm ready. I have the fire under my belt. I'm just going to keep working as hard as I can, and it's going to just fuel me up for the rest of the season.
Well, congratulations.
Thank you.
This is huge. Is there anybody you'd like to say hello to today?
My girlfriend, her family, she's pushing me a lot, helping me.
What's her name?
Addie. Her name's Addie Sedera. Like to say hi to Brooke and Mike Sedera, and Addie's uncle. I appreciate them pushing me this whole season. My girlfriend's played a huge role in pushing me and helping me PR. My mom, hi Mama June. Luke, my cousin, helping me out. Brandon, Ellie, just my whole family.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, so when's your next meet?
Next meet is Saturday, New Prairie Invite.
New Prairie Invite. And is the person that came in first yesterday going to be there?
Yeah.
So you're ready for him?
I'm ready. It's going to be a fun one.
Well, congratulations. Good luck to you for the rest of the season. I hope it pans out the way you want to. And I hope we come back here in the fall for basketball, and I hope we come back here in the spring for track.
It'd be awesome.
So that'll be good.
Yeah.
Well, congratulations.
Thank you so much.
Yep.
Huge congratulations to Zach Kimmel for winning our Tyler Roth WKVI Athlete of the Week. Don't forget, these Athletes of the Week get into the running for our Athlete of the Year. So at the end of the year, we will be picking who our Athlete of the Year is from the list of these Athletes of the Week. Congratulations once again to Zach Kimmel. We look forward to seeing what he does in the future. We're going to take a break and come back. We've got Josh Burgess, the head coach of the Winamac Warriors, in-house. Don't go anywhere. You're listening to Kankakee Valley Broadcasting's WKVI.
The Stark County Co-op has been a member-owned farm services co-op in Stark County since 1928. That's over 90 years, and they're still providing the same quality agronomy services to the farming community of Stark and surrounding counties. The Stark County Co-op is an LP and fuel provider. The Stark County Co-op purchases grain at both locations, Hamlet and Brems. You can reach them by phone at 1-800-782-3392, the Stark County Co-op.
Collins Insurance Agency in Knox has done it again. They have earned the distinction of preferred agency partner from the Western Reserve Insurance Company.
Can't touch this.
So what does that mean for you? Collins Insurance Agency provides themselves of taking care of its community. That means providing the best insurance that keeps you and your family safe in a time of need. And with this honor, Collins Insurance Agency looks forward to providing Stark and surrounding counties the best customer service you and your family deserve. Collins Insurance Agency in Knox, living the golden rule by treating you like family.
Here's more with area high school coaches as we return to the Saturday Sports Line from the Pulaski Memorial Hospital Studios on K99.3.
You're listening to Kankakee Valley Broadcasting's WKVI. Got a little excited on that one. Mitch Columbi, sports analyst Chris McGowan on hand, and we've got the Winamac Warriors head coach Josh Burgess in-house. Josh, good morning. Tough loss last night, but we're so glad you've got the time to come in and chat with us.
I appreciate you guys taking the time to meet with us. We appreciate it.
Of course, of course.
And okay, so for the people that are waking up, looking at that score, that box score, and seeing that 41-0 score, you're probably thinking another blowout. But I'm telling you, your kids battled last night, and if they're about to take out about 6 minutes there, the last 5.5 minutes of the second quarter and the first play of the second half, with the opening kickoff. There's 21 points put on the board by North Judson. The other 41 and a half minutes were very competitive in a hard-fought football game. Again, from week one, we saw you guys in week one against Winamac to last night. The improvement, Coach, personally, I have to say is vast.
Yeah, I talked to kids last night, and sometimes it sounds like a broken record. The effort was there, and I'll never fault the effort of our kids. Our kids play hard. They executed the game plan well, I thought, especially early. Just thought we kind of ran out of gas a little bit toward the end of the second quarter, and give North Judson a lot of credit. They're good. They're good up front. Their skill kids are just top notch, and they executed when they needed to and got some things done. But I'm seeing some good growth and good improvement. There's good things we're seeing with our kids. So we just talk about consistency all the time, and consistency means we got to finish the half the right way. And that second quarter, we're driving the ball.
Oh yeah,
driving the ball, and Cash takes a hit. The whole bounces right to the Benson kid, and he returns it. I mean, just a backbreaker of a play. They're able to get one more in before halftime, and then coming out, we talked about the fact we have to kick the Judson, and we've got to be ready on our kick coverage. And we have a guy in position, kind of overruns in his lane, and Judson kids did a good job executing on that play and getting that score. And so, like you said, giving up those 21 points or so in that just short 5 or 6 minute span was what killed us. But we're seeing good things out of our kids, and we're seeing some improvement. So we're on the right track.
Yeah, and I hope your kids are listening right now, because I mean it wholeheartedly. From where they started in week one to where they are now, a lot of growth has taken place. Especially, you look at Cash Roth. I think the confidence level that he's playing with, slinging that pigskin around, you could definitely tell a difference last night.
Yeah, you're exactly right. I think the last 3 weeks he's starting with that North White game, and he's starting to get some things figured out. Cash not the biggest kid in the world. But man, he's a tough kid that'll stand in there, and he's doing good things and making good throws, and got some receivers involved in the passing game now too that made some good catches. Brett Bentel and Braun had a couple nice catches last night too. So we just need to continue to improve with that. But really happy with the growth and progression of Cash Roth, the sophomore quarterback.
Well, there were times last night I was telling Chris when the Blue Jays were coming after him. I mean, I was scared to death up in the booth for him, and seriously. And they're coming after him, and he has the poise to stay in there, just like you said, and still throw the ball with complete confidence. And he took some hits last night, got right back up, didn't let him phase him. I mean, I'm excited to see what he does in the future, as well as the other guys on your team. I mean, we talked off the air with Talon. I mean, on defense, he did a fantastic job last night with several stops. I think wasn't he the one that sacked Harper on that one play? He did a really good job, and but really, all in all, these guys want to compete. You can tell they want to compete, and they listen to you. They listen to what you have to say, and it shows that you're the leader of this team.
Well, give the kids a lot of credit. They work hard in practice. They pay attention to what's going on. Defensively too, like Chris said, you look at the scoreboard, 41-0. You think, hey, but I think we're making strides defensively too. Our younger linebackers. Talon Garner, Tucker Fox. Michael Lamer's a senior, but we moved him up. He's only played linebacker for 3 games now. Those guys are playing well. And, up front, too, our ends especially. Aiden Day, I'll give him a little credit. He's a kid that's moved back to Winamac. He's a junior. I don't think they had played high school football. So, a defensive end for us, he stepped in. I think he had 5 tackles, 5 assists, blocked extra points. So, he's starting to figure some things out, too. And we've got a variety of guys on the defensive side of the ball that are just starting to figure some things out and starting to play a little bit better. So, again, we're going to keep working and we're going to keep building off some of those things.
And again, when you play a triple option team defensively, everybody, you want to talk about assignment football. And for those of you that don't understand that, everybody has to do the right thing every single snap, or you're going to get gashed for a huge play. And last night, I think the longest play North Judson had from scrimmage might have been the scramble on the first possession, where it was 3rd and 17, and Aldrich Harper drops back and he scrambles for 27 yards and picks up first down. I think that was a busted play. So defensively, with your young kids to be able to go in and take away the fullback. Benson had 160 yards against Knox. Cheyenne Allen had over 100 yards, and then last night Aldrich Harper is the one that leads Judson in rushing, and he's the quarterback. So a three-headed monster there with that triple option. But your kids looked like they executed the game plan that you guys had put forth.
Yeah, we had guys in position, and some of our younger guys missed a couple tackles here and there, but getting the guys in position, we can understand that with some of the younger guys we have. I mentioned another kid, Addison Allen, sophomore safety. He was in the backfield a couple times on some really good run reads and run keys, and maybe just didn't get broken down enough or buzzed his feet to make the tackle, but he's there, and those things will come as he gets more playing time and as we progress too. So just really excited for some of our kids, just some of the strides they're making. Obviously we want to win. We're not happy sitting at 1-4. We're not, and I told the kids that last night. But at the same time, I think we're on the right track.
Exactly.
We're going to get into the back end of our schedule here, and don't get me wrong, the back end of our schedule is not easy. We don't have an easy game left. With our conference the way it is, West Central's got things rolling over on the west side of the county. So, and we've got Culver next week, and our focus is going to be just lasered in on Culver and what they do. But we're making some progress, and excited to see what we can do in the next 4 years.
I'm smiling right now because I heard him say "buzz your feet," and that was something that was always said to me in high school. And
really,
I decided, what, when I became a coach and became a head coach, I went to the clean your cleats. That was the phrase I used. I got the buzz your feet was just ingrained in me so much. I'm like, what? I'm not saying that to a kid because it was said 9,000 times to me. So I used to clean your cleats. But anyway.
Well, you've got Culver, you said, next week. Tell me a little bit about what you've seen from the Cavs, if you've had a chance to look at them. We talked to Mike Zehner a little earlier this morning. They're coming off a tough loss as well. So both teams here, are going to want to come for this W. What are you preparing this week in your mind?
Yeah, I watched a little bit of film this morning, maybe a series or two here and there. Culver's always going to bring a physical team. Numbers-wise, they've got, 20-some kids. But, man, those 20-some kids are going to play just as hard as they can for 48 minutes. Coach Zehner and his staff does an excellent job of getting their kids prepared to play football every week. So we'll have our hands full. I just mentioned Shane Schumann. It seems like that kid's been there for 7 years.
Everybody keeps saying that.
He's just a really good player for them. But they've got compliments around him this year, too. I know they're doing some different things, spreading the ball out a little bit, which makes them even more difficult to prepare for. So then defensively, too, I know they're really aggressive up front. With their front 6, 7, 8 guys they put in the box, and they'll come after us. So, we're going to have to have a good week of preparation, a good week of practice, and just continue to improve. And we got to go back on the road again. We haven't been on the road for 3 weeks, so that's always a challenge with a younger team, getting them prepared mentally to get on a bus. It's not a far bus ride, so that's good, but we still have to go somewhere else and come out and be ready to go. So we've got a lot of things we need to get prepared for this week.
And I'll ask you the same thing I asked Coach Hall from West Central, looking ahead, talking about high school kids. You have Culver, you're going to Culver next week, but then the week after that, it's the big Pulaski County East Side, West Side. How do you keep your kids focused on Culver?
Yeah, I'm not going to pretend that some of those kids are looking down the line a little bit, but just as a staff, we're going to be laser focused on Culver. Culver's got everything that we want and more as far as us have to prepare for them. So they're a good team. They're going to be looking to kind of right the ship a little bit after their loss last night too, kind of like we are. So, we'll have our hands full with Culver. We'll be laser focused on them, and we'll just take 1 week at a time. And especially with our guys, that's what we need to do.
Well, we always appreciate your time, Josh. It means a lot that you take the time to come up here and also allow me to come to practice throughout the week. It really prepares me for the games on Friday. I told you this off the air before, but I just really do appreciate you allowing me access like that, because sometimes I feel like I'm in the way and I don't want to cause an issue, but it really means a lot to me that you guys are allowing me to come and get familiar with all the coaches and the players. And, it helped out Friday. I knew a lot of the guys and I knew what their tendencies were, and it really made the broadcast a good broadcast, so I appreciate you for that.
Well, hey, we appreciate you guys. Anytime we come up here and talk about our program and get the coverage and support from you guys, we really sure appreciate you guys do an awesome job for us, so thank you.
Well, we'll be in Winamac in a couple of weeks again, so we're excited to be back there. They always do a good job. The field looked fantastic. Chris was mentioning how in the early 90s it was a lot different a field than it is today. It's a beautiful field.
Playing on asphalt.
Yeah. And also I mentioned whoever's in your laundry department, boy, they really make those jerseys look sharp. There's no stains on them or anything. They're doing it.
Kids credit for that. We don't do anything with the laundry.
They're doing
really.
They take care of all that.
Do they
lucky,
really?
Lucky
They're
you.
doing a good job. I mean,
you have some good parents at home.
Well, when they came running out on the field, I told Chris, I said, boy, those look darn near brand new, because you can't even see a stain on them. So whatever they're using, OxyClean or something, it looks good. So we appreciate you, Josh.
I just got to say, being a former head coach and all my years at North Judson, that we as a coaching staff,
Never
we
got
did
a shout out.
Oh no, we
you did all the laundry.
We did the laundry.
You did the laundry.
We give it to the kids at the start of the season. Hey, this is all you. Just make sure you get it back to us at the end. And we had pretty good luck with it.
That's interesting. All right.
Josh Burgess, head coach of the Winamac Warriors in-house. We appreciate his time. And until next week, Josh, we thank you.
Yeah, thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
All right, we're going to take a break. Don't go anywhere. You're listening to the Saturday Sports Line on Kankakee Valley Broadcasting's WKVI.
Welcome to Marion University's newest location, Ancilla College of Marion University. Marion's newest campus location in Plymouth is your home for an on-campus college experience. From living in the dorms to being a collegiate student-athlete, Marion University is ranked third most innovative Midwest university by U.S. News and World Report. For more information about our 2- or 4-year degrees, go to www.marion.edu/Ancilla. That's www.marion.edu/Ancilla.
This presentation of our area's local high school sports is sponsored by Pulaski Memorial Hospital in Winamac. Pulaski Memorial Hospital is dedicated to providing excellent health care to improve the health and quality of life for the people and the community they serve. They will meet the community's needs and exceed their expectations by creating the best possible health care experience. For more information of the services they provide, call 946-2100.
Coke knows there's nothing better than the beat of the summer. The beat begins in a simple and mellow place, from low-key to hyped up. So we're helping you and your friends drink it all in with 100 days of the artist's experiences, tracks, and concerts with the best names in music, all at Coke Studio. Drink, scan, and enjoy your Coke, so you never miss out on all the amazing offers we're dropping this summer.
Join us each Saturday morning on WKVI for the Saturday Sports Line and worldwide on WKVI.com.
That's where you can find us here on the Pulaski Memorial Hospital studios of Kankakee Valley Broadcasting. This is WKVI Sports as the new era is underway. As we have South Central Satellites head coach with us, Buzz Schoff, coming off a big win last night against, I hope I'm pronouncing this right, Osceola Grace? That's right. Yeah. Osceola Grace, 24-20. We're so happy that the Satellites got their first win of the season. Tell us, Buzz, how excited and juiced are your guys this morning?
It was pretty easy for them to wake up this morning and get back in, get back out to the field. They were pretty excited. It's just one of those games where our kids played well enough to win. Not everything was perfect. Not everything went as planned, but there was a lot of ups and downs, and our kids rode the ups and they rode out the downs. So it's not it wasn't a perfect game played by us, but it was good enough to win. And anytime you can win, you can't complain.
Got to take it.
Got to take it, exactly. And for your young Satellite team, probably the kind of win that they needed. Not everything going their way, but they still were able to mentally put that behind them and execute and get the win. It looked like, from the scores I was getting, it was back and forth. You guys jump out early 8-0. They take the lead 14-8. And then you guys go back up 16-14, and then you put another score on, go up 10, and then you hold on to win. When I got home last night, I saw the score on Max Preps. It was 24-20, and I'll be honest with you, I'm laying in bed going, I hope they held on to win that.
Yeah, it's one of those. It's that game where every emotion that you could possibly have in a football game comes out. We go up 8-0, and you're thinking, okay, let's keep rolling. And then you give up 2 scores and you're down 14-8. You go into halftime. You don't have a whole lot of adjustments to make just because you know what you're doing is working offensively and defensively. You just have to critique a few things just to give them a different look, so they have to adjust on the fly coming out in the second half. And then we go up 16-14, and our kids and you just saw our kids, a different mentality come over them. It was something that we haven't seen all season long, which, again, that's the second time that we've had a lead all season long, the first coming in the first quarter of this game. So
they went to in like a zone of some sort?
It was when they finally convinced themselves, like, we can
win this game. Yeah.
And then, and so, and then 16-14, then we put another one on and go up 24-16, and then they just start throwing the whole playbook at you, and kid ends up making a great catch in the back of the end zone. We got it covered perfectly. He just out-athleted us at that point.
Right.
To make it 24-20. They go to kick the extra point and they miss it. And we're thinking, okay, we got to get a first down and we can win this game.
Yeah.
So there's 2 minutes and 50 seconds to go, and okay, let's just run the ball and let's see what happens. And we end up holding on to the ball there till the end, and we end up getting some delay of game penalty at the end of the game because our clock was wrong and the official was making things up as we were going. He's like, you got to snap the ball with 6 seconds to go. Well, the play clock says I got to snap it at 4 seconds to go. So we get a penalty there, but then 4 seconds isn't a whole lot to hold on to the ball for. So it was a great win for us last night, and our kids played extremely well to come out with a win.
So individually, who were you pleased with last night individually?
So we had really 4 guys that kind of stood out, offensively and defensively. Zach Anchar went, I think, 11 for 19 for 108, 1 touchdown pass, and then he ran 2 conversions in. Clayton Stroud had, I think, 4 catches for 69 yards, something like that. Ben Bashinsky ran the ball, I think, 24 times for 109 yards. Hopefully he's doing well. He dislocated his kneecap with 3 minutes to go in the game, and it was as bad as I thought. But they were able to put it back in place last night in the hospital, and he's back at home now. The kid said so. I sent him a text a minute ago, but he hadn't got back to me. But I'm sure he's not really himself right now. But so we're hoping that everything goes well there. But
man,
it just it seems like it's kind of how the season goes. When something goes well, you got to recover from something else. But we'll bounce back from it. Our kids are in good spirits, and they know they can. They know that they can win football games now. So as we move on to Lake Station. We gotta focus in there. They are well improved from what they have been in the past. That's not a game that you just show up and win anymore. So our kids have to focus on that. They're looking at this is another winnable game. They're sitting at 2-2 right now. So they're the same boat we are as far as this is a game we can win, and this is a game that could get the season turned around. And I don't know what the mentality of our kids would be if we were able to go 2 wins in a row. We might just be a different team at that point in time.
Well, and of course, we're talking with South Central head coach Buzz Schoff for the Satellites. We talked a little bit last week about, once you get that 1 win under your belt, the confidence of the team can just change, because you just mentioned it. Once you get that 1 win, you can win, and now we move forward. And in Lake Station, like you said, they're not a team where you can't just show up and win anymore. You've got to be prepared to play. So they're coming off a win, probably the best scenario for them. Their spirits are up. This is an exciting moment for Satellite football. And I'm really happy for you, because you've been coming in and talking to us, being so gracious with your time each week. And I just really want to see good things happen to South Central.
Yep. I told the boys, I said, if we keep working, good things will happen. And that's exactly what they did. And, 24-20, you think, oh, well, they squeaked by on that one. But, that's neither here nor there. It doesn't matter how you win as long as you win. There's a lot of college football games on tonight, and there's going to be some heavy favorites that are going to be tight ball games. And it doesn't matter who wins that. It doesn't matter how they win that game as long as they win that game. So I'm just proud of our kids on their resiliency throughout this season. It has not been easy to go out there and sweat every day and put your best effort in. but they did it, and they finally got some payoff for it, and hopefully we can just keep that rolling into next week.
Yeah, I'm looking at that and then going through the time lapse of the game. Basketball is different than football, obviously, but basketball is a game of spurts.
Yep.
And the team that can control those spurts is the team that usually comes out on top. Football, you don't see a game where, okay, one team scores 14 points in a row, then the next team comes back and scores 16 points in a row, and then you trade scores after that. Football is you don't see that very often in the game of football.
Yep, just a little more control. In the
Exactly.
game.
Yeah.
But when you got as many basketball players as we got, and you got as many baseball players as we got, maybe that's how they think sports work. So,
right.
Well, I mean, not wrong in saying that.
And keep it.
Right.
Just, as long as you're leading at the end of the game, it doesn't really matter what happened the first 47 minutes. It matters what happens in that last minute. But our kids are great, and they really needed that to reinforce the buy-in that I don't think we ever lost. Don't get me wrong, but I think now that they understand, like, okay, what we're doing is fine. It's working. We can do it. Now we just got over that hump. Now let's keep climbing.
Yeah, the growth that was shown in that game. Now, if you can just continue that.
Exactly. Yep.
So, tell us some players that stood out last night to you that you'd like to mention on the air today.
Well, so Zach Hanchar went 11 for 19 with a touchdown pass. Clayton Stroud, Ben Bashinsky.
How about defensively?
Defensively, we had 2 interceptions, one by Tyler Carr, and Kevin Higley. They're a very spread out team. They tried to nickel and dime you in the flat, and our corners really had to step up because when you're playing corner and you're getting a hitch route or you're getting an out route ran at you, you're on an island all by yourself, and if you don't make that tackle, bad things happen. So, and there were a few times where we came up, missed the tackle, and it was a big game. But for the most part, our 2 corners between Kevin Higley and Angelo Staff, they were able to make those plays and they were able to jump some of those short pass routes and intercept them. I think Angelo had an interception as well. So our kids were playing very well. They would be driving the ball and then we'd make a play. And all season long, I've told our kids, like, when is somebody just going to make a play? You can't just continue to watch the same play being ran at you and just continue to accept the result.
Right.
At some point, make a small adjustment and do something different. And they were able to do that. They'd throw a hitch route and they'd gain 6 yards. They'd throw another hitch route. They'd gain 3 yards. And then the third time they'd throw it, we'd step in front of it, we'd pick it off, or we'd knock it down. That's the adjustment you got to make in your head. You're just not going to accept, okay, well, he's going to catch that and I'm going to tackle him. At some point, do something in your mind that's going to change the outcome of that play. And I think last night our kids finally figured out exactly what to do. You don't have to do anything big. You just got to do something small. It's simply going to the outside of that hitch or going to the inside of that hitch as opposed to going the same direction every time. So last night you saw a lot of our kids just playing the game of football the way it's supposed to be played.
Well, Coach, big win last night. We appreciate you coming in to talk about it, and we're looking forward to your game. We'll be in South Central October. My goodness, it's already. Well, it's going to get cold here at these football games. You guys ready for that?
So.
You ready for that?
I wear a shirt and tie at every football game.
Do you really?
I'm getting tired of being hot.
I like that. I've always wanted to see coaches get back into a suit. I always liked the old school way. Even basketball coaches nowadays, they don't wear suit and ties anymore.
Basketball coaches usually always have suits and ties on, but
that's kind of since COVID. Yeah.
Polo shirt.
It's like they use COVID as the excuse.
You're supposed to look the part.
Well, I'm excited to come to that game now.
Well, I'm glad that.
All right, head coach of the South Central Satellites, Buzz Schoff, with a big win last night off of Osceola Grace. He heads to Lake Station next week. We wish him well as we're going to take a break, but don't go anywhere. We were originally going to talk to Athletic Director at South Central, John Haggard, but unfortunate interview just on my end. The technology dropped out. I had my cell phone sitting next to the recorder, and it sounded muffled the whole time. So my fault. We got another interview in the slot instead. I got a chance to talk to the Knox Redskins Brigade Band Director, Craig Phipps. As we all know, when you go to these basketball, football games, no matter what, when there's a pep or a marching band there, they provide the atmosphere that we all remember. Stay tuned. Craig Phipps is on the other side. You're listening to Kankakee Valley Broadcasting's WKVI.
At First Farmers Bank and Trust, we've been serving family farms for over 130 years. We've seen our customers succeed in good times, pull through in tough times, and we've learned some lessons along the way. So we appreciate the customers we have today by finding the solutions they'll be looking for tomorrow. Are you ready to talk about your farm operation? Stop by a branch or visit us online at ffbt.com. First Farmers Bank and Trust, Equal Opportunity Lender. Member FDIC.
Welcome back to the Saturday Sports Line. So glad you're with us here on K99.3 WKVI. Had a chance to sit down and talk with Craig Phipps. He's the Knox Redskins Brigade Director as they are getting ready for competition season. Not only that, I wanted to touch base on what the band provides for games. When you're at a game, the atmosphere, we all have that one song we hear in our head when there is a pep or marching band present at the game. Not just a special place in my heart, but I'm sure a lot of you will have memories of when you were out on the field or court and heard the band.
So you've got a lot of competitions coming up very soon. Tell me a little bit about what is going on in the band here in Knox.
Well, we actually just finished our first competition. We were at Goshen High School and went really well. We were up against 3 state finalists from last year, and we ended up beating one of them. But the other 2 both finished second in their respective classes. So, the kids were super jazzed and super excited to, be able to place the way we did and perform as well as we did, even with elements of our show that are still missing. Because, just like when you're a coach, you're thinking long term and you're trying to make adjustments along the way till you get to that ideal point where you want to be when sectionals comes around. We're no different. We make adjustments all the way along so that we're at that ideal point when our state tournament comes around in mid-October. So that's we're in a good place right now, and I'm very happy about that. We've got Concord coming, and then we'll head over Concord up in Elkhart, and then we're going to head over to Fort Wayne at Carroll High School. Then we'll be back at Plymouth, and then back to Fort Wayne for regional. And then,
all over the place.
Yeah, all over the northern part of the state. We don't even start getting south until semi-state, which is 3rd week of October, I believe. And then we head down to Decatur Central, which is the southwest side of Indianapolis. And then,
so this is all happening in just a matter of weeks.
Yeah. So we're in it now, and if all goes well, we'll be performing the first week of November at state finals at Lucas Oil. And with us performing every weekend except for one, we did build in a camp weekend so that we can just do some final tweaks on the show.
So I do remember when I was in band, you start fairly early around the 4th of July.
Right.
So is that around the same time you had, because you guys have to be ready. You can't just come in the first day of school and prepare for the first football game or a competition.
Yeah, absolutely. The show design actually, believe it or not, begins all the way in November. My staff and I,
the year before.
The year before, yeah. So the staff and I start designing our show all the way back at that point. And honestly, we have ideas that we are coming up with during the current year, and then November is when we really, rubber meets the road and we start designing. And then the kids first get to see the music and hear, see the show concepts and things like that. Usually mid-May, and then we have our first camp week. The 3rd week of June.
My friends later in life who played sports, they just always told me, and they've said this to me, that they remember a certain song that you would play to rile the crowd up.
Oh yeah,
it's a part of the game. Yeah. It just is a part of the game. It's memories, and it's fun to have a marching band, and we appreciate what you do. Name your staff. We'd love to know their names.
So I've got a number of staff. However, 2 of them I brought in just for camp. But my regular staff, I have Coley Clark. She's a teacher over at the elementary school, and she's been with me for a long time. She teaches my color guard. And then I have Kate Radelja, who's a former student of mine. She's her assistant. And then I have Andy Rice. He's my percussion caption head. Many of you know him from, he does our drumline stuff in the wintertime. He's very talented, very good at what he does. And then I brought in Jacob Keene, who's a recent graduate. He helped me out in a pinch last year because I had a husband and wife team that were supposed to work for us for band camp, and she was pregnant, and she went into labor 2 days before camp started.
Oh, wow.
And so they were pretty much done for camp. Well, I called Jacob and I said, hey, I don't normally bring students back right away, but are you willing? Because he's a music ed major over at Valparaiso. And he said, sure, I'll come in. And he did such a fantastic job. And he was able to make that separation from student to staff member. And so I brought him back for this year as well. And then I have a band director down in Southern Indiana from Clay City High School. His name was Matt Harvey.
Mm-hmm.
He worked with us during camp. And then I have the band director from Lowell High School who came over and worked with us. His name's Devin Whaley. And they've all done a fantastic job. And I can't tell you, how much having them around helps, because there's so many aspects of it. It would be, I was a soccer player in college, and
I didn't know that, actually.
Yeah.
Where'd you play?
St. Joe in Rensselaer.
Oh, very cool.
Yeah, right up until I tore my hip flexor. And I was like, I'm done after that. So yeah, it was rough. But it's just like, having a coach who has, an offensive coordinator, a defensive coordinator, and then they've got their sub people, or you've got a quarterback coach, things like that. These guys are able to help me break my ensemble down into smaller pieces so that we can maximize the time with the kids and make sure that they're getting all their bases covered as well.
That is so cool. Well, I appreciate your time today.
Yeah, absolutely.
It means a lot. Is there anyone that you would like to say hello to today?
I just say hello to my family. That's the biggest challenge, I think, with what I do, because you've seen when you're in and out of the studio how we're over there all the time, and
it is a lot.
my family, by my wife Kathy, being married to me, she makes sacrifices for my job, and that was one of the things that we talked about when we were dating. I said, I'm a pretty busy person, and my job takes up a lot of time. So she was awesome. She grew up, her parents were teachers, so she was a teacher's kid. So she understood that there's that little bit extra, and then she got involved. And now that my two oldest children are in the marching band, she's involved even more. So my family's around and always a part of it, and it's awesome to have them. And I'm so thankful that she understands and she loves what I do and likes to be a part of it.
Well, if you're heading to a Knox Redskins game, make sure to check out the halftime show, Perception of Time, about the past, present, and future. Craig Phipps, thank you so much for your time.
Thanks a lot, Mitch.
Well, we can't forget it is their season just as much as it is every other sports season. We wish the Redskin Brigade good luck. We're going to take a break. Don't go anywhere. More to come here on the Saturday Sports Line. You're listening to Kankakee Valley Broadcasting's WKVI.
At First Farmers Bank and Trust, we've been serving family farms for over 130 years. We've seen our customers succeed in good times, pull through in tough times, and we've learned some lessons along the way. So we appreciate the customers we have today by finding the solutions they'll be looking for tomorrow. Are you ready to talk about your farm operation? Stop by a branch or visit us online at ffbt.com. First Farmers Bank and Trust. Equal Opportunity Lender. Member FDIC.
It's time now for Where Are They Now? A look back at more than a half century of WKVI radio covering local high school sports. Today's program is brought to you by Osborne's Mini Marts in Knox and Culver. Now let's meet one of the local high school sports figures from more than 50 years of WKVI sports and find out where are they now.
As we look back on more than 50 years of broadcasting high school sports in the Kankakee Valley here on WKVI, each week we ask, where are they now? And we talk with some of the former athletes from the Kankakee Valley area who have gone on to be successes in life and talk with them about their experience as high school athletes in the local area and how that has helped them be successful in life. But I thought today it would be interesting to focus on some of the more recent graduates of Kankakee Valley area high schools and what they're doing athletically at the collegiate level. And what we found is that Marcellus Anderson, a graduate of Culver High School, is listed on the Saginaw Valley State University football roster. They're up in Michigan as a 6'5", 330-pound junior offensive lineman. Now, as a sophomore a year ago, Marcellus was first team all Great Lakes Intercollegiate Athletic Conference. Wow. He played 4 games as a freshman after having been redshirted for his first year. And when he was at Culver, he was a 2-time All-Stater named by the Indiana Football Coaches Association. And, of course, he was one of our WKVI All-Kankakee Valley area players as well. At Manchester University, we found on the football roster Michael Radtke, a senior there at Manchester. He's from West Central High School, listed as a 5'10", 220-pound tight end. And when he was at West Central, he was an academic All-State and a member of the WKVI All-Kankakee Valley area team as well. In women's cross country at Manchester, we find Gabby Boyd is on the roster, a freshman out of North Judson-San High School, where she was all Hoosier North Athletic Conference in cross country, in basketball, and in track, and won the Mental Attitude Award at North Judson in all 3 of those sports as well. Also at Manchester University, we found Piper Wade, a freshman from South Central, is listed on their volleyball roster. And when she was at South Central, of course, she was a part of 2 sectional champion volleyball teams. She was a team captain in volleyball, track, and in dance. She was all Porter County Conference and an academic all Porter County Conference in volleyball as a senior as well. At Indiana University in South Bend, we find that Emma Knowlton, a freshman from John Glenn High School, is listed on the volleyball roster there. She was a team captain at John Glenn her junior and senior year and was all Northern Indiana Conference honorable mention in both her junior and senior years as well. At Bethel University, we found the name of Silas Kaiser, a John Glenn graduate last year, and he's listed as a freshman on the baseball roster. And, of course, he was part of that great sectional championship John Glenn baseball team the last 4 years, actually, up there at John Glenn. And over at Kenyon College in Ohio, we find that Macy Reinbold of North Judson-San High School is on the volleyball roster there. She, of course, has been a 4-year regular at Kenyon. She had 185 kills as a junior and 175 digs as a junior last year. And already this year, in just 6 games, she has 76 kills and 74 digs. So Macy Reinbold being very successful at Kenyon College, as she was in North Judson-San High School, where she was a member of that 2018 state championship team. We're catching up with some of the more recent graduates of Kankakee Valley area high schools here on our Where Are They Now segment, and we'll be back with more after this timeout.
Need a game plan that has your day covered from tip-off to the buzzer? Osborne's Mini Mart in Knox has you covered. Whether you like to start out with a caffeinated full-court press or control the tempo with a Subway breakfast flatbread, Osborne's Mini Mart has what you need. Don't get trapped in the corner with an empty stomach. Call a quick timeout and get 2 hot dogs for $1.29. Visit Osborne's Mini Mart in Knox at the corner of US 35 and Highway 8 East to guarantee you win the day.
Here on our Where Are They Now segment, we're catching up with some of the more recent graduates of Kankakee Valley area high schools who are playing sports at the collegiate level. And we found one who is playing collegiately at the Division I level of college football, and that's Brody Brum, who is now a senior at Liberty University in Virginia, and he's listed on their football roster as a 6', 200-pound wide receiver, and he was redshirted his first year back in 2018, but came out and played in all 13 games that the Flames played as a sophomore in 2019. It was a key member of the special teams there, had 7 tackles, including 4 solo tackles in that year. And then his first year as a junior in 2020, he played in all 11 games that the Flames participated in and had 4 receptions on offense as well as 8 tackles, including 4 solo tackles, and had his first career touchdown reception against North Alabama that year. In 2021, last year, he played in all 13 games again. Had 8 receptions for 135 yards, a 2-point conversion, and a touchdown against University of Massachusetts. He had a 2-point conversion against Middle Tennessee that was featured on ESPN. It was so spectacular. And now he is a graduate student at Liberty University working on his master's degree. And, of course, you'll remember that Brody was an outstanding athlete at Winamac High School and was academic All-Hoosier North Athletic Conference both his junior and senior year. He was first-team All-State defensive back as a senior. His senior year, he tied for the number 1 in the state with 8 interceptions. And he was first-team All-HNAC as a senior, and, of course, was a member of the All-Kankakee Valley Area Honor Team here at WKVI as well. Brody Brum, a graduate of Winamac High School. So I thought it'd be interesting to look and find some of these former local athletes who have recently graduated or who are being successful at the collegiate level. That's going to do it for our Where Are They Now segment. I'm Harold Welter. Join us again next week on the Saturday Sports Line for Where Are They Now?
Where Are They Now? A look back at more than a half-century of high school sports coverage on WKVI has been brought to you by Osborne's Mini Marts in Knox and Culver.
It's time now for our Tyler Roth WKVI Athlete of the Week, given in memory of Tyler Roth, a 2001 graduate of Winamac High School who died in an auto accident 1 week after his high school graduation. His legacy of hard work, outstanding citizenship, artistic success, and super athletic performance lives on with this award given every week to outstanding student athletes from the 9 schools in the Kankakee Valley. Today's award is brought to you by Web Printing and JT Shirt Shack in Winamac, and we'll tell you who's earned the Tyler Roth WKVI Athlete of the Week after this word from Web Printing.
Web Printing and JT Shirt Shack and signs of all kinds in Winamac is where all of your printing needs can be met. Whether it's paper, garments, or signs, Web Printing is your full-service printing solution. So if you're in need of embroidered or screen-printed garments, tickets or programs for your event, or documents for your business, Web Printing and JT Shirt Shack is the place to go. For the quickest service, best prices, and best quality, it's Web Printing and JT Shirt Shack in Winamac.
Our Tyler Roth WKVI Athlete of the Week for this week is Katie Bryan, a member of the girls volleyball team at Oregon Davis High School. Katie has been a leader for the Bobcats this season and is someone the team looks up to as their leader. Her leadership skills and dedication is what we look at as a whole for our Tyler Roth WKVI Athlete of the Week. Katie is the daughter of Abigail Taylor. As we congratulate Katie Bryan of Oregon Davis High School, our Tyler Roth WKVI Athlete of the Week. Katie will receive a certificate, a history of the award, and a t-shirt commemorating her achievement, and will also be a future guest on the Saturday Sports Line. She will also be eligible for our Tyler Roth WKVI Athlete of the Year award later this spring, which carries with it a beautiful plaque and a college scholarship, compliments of WKVI and the family of Tyler Roth. The Tyler Roth WKVI Athlete of the Week is brought to you by Web Printing and JT Shirt Shack of Winamac. Once again, congratulations to Oregon Davis's Katie Bryan as she wins our Tyler Roth WKVI Athlete of the Week. I'll work on getting that interview with her later this week, Chris.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that. Again, all these local athletes that do a great job with the interviews. We're really blessed with some great student athletes here in the Kankakee Valley broadcasting area. Right now, I'd like to take a second to to mention the New Prairie Invitational Cross Country Meet today, which is one of the biggest in northern Indiana, taking place today at New Prairie High School. Those kids, hey, you guys have fun running Agony Hill there at New Prairie. So, that's taking place today here on Saturday morning.
Well, I'd like to also take this time to mention the Knox Redskins golf team. They won their sectional last night. On Friday, we actually have an interview. Harold Welter was lucky enough to get that. We weren't able to fit that interview in today, but keep an eye on our sports checks throughout Monday and Tuesday. You may hear that interview. We're hoping for that as the Knox Redskins golf team moves forward as they won sectionals last night. Golf sectionals is going on. We talked to Bryan Lorenz from Winamac, the athletic director. He said their golf team goes into sectional on Monday, so we're going to keep an eye on these golf teams around the area. I know Oregon Davis had their golf sectional on Friday. The unfortunate way it ended, they've only got 4 golfers. The athletic director Aubrey Lady had told me, but she's really proud, and the school Oregon Davis is very proud of their golfers for what they did on Friday. But congratulations to the Knox Redskins as they move forward, as they won their sectional in golf. We'll keep an eye on them, that's for sure.
Yeah, and it's just amazing. Once the actual games start in the high school football season, how quick it goes. We're already looking at, week 6 of the regular season. Just time flies, I guess, when you're having fun. And we have some good games on the schedule coming up. Again, we'll be at Liberty Field next week watching North Judson take on the Culver Military Eagles. And then the week after that, we're going to have the battle of Pulaski County, East Side versus West Side.
Very excited for that.
Yeah, very excited for that. That's one of those games. Again, huge rivalry. Throw out the records, and that's going to be something that's going to be fun to be a part of. And then 3 weeks from now, we'll actually do our first South Central game with South Central South Newton, where the South Newton, I believe, Rebels come to town. And then we'll finish out the season with Pioneer at North Judson. So some good quality football games coming up here to finish out the season before we get into postseason.
Well, it's been a fun time so far working with you, Chris. 5 weeks in already. Like you said, I can't believe it. We're doing the best we can. We're trying to get as many interviews as we can. We've got 9 schools to cover. A lot of people have a lot of stories to get on the air. We're doing the best we can with the time that we have available, and I just appreciate everyone giving us full access. All the athletic directors in our area, they just have really done a fantastic job allowing us on the field, allowing us to get these interviews during the week, allowing me to come into the high school and take these kids out of class just to be able to get these Athletes of the Week's interviews in. So I appreciate everything that our schools do for us because it helps us sound really professional.
Yeah, and it's we do this to promote high school athletes. I know it's always a goal of mine to try to mention as many names because that's what it's about. Anytime I'm talking about my team that I'm coaching, I'm trying to get as many names out there as I can because it's all about it's about the kids. That's why we do what we do. That's why I do what I do. Giving up my Friday nights and whatever. But again, it's all about the kids and they do a very good job of making it easy for us to promote them. That's for sure.
Well, it's been a pleasure this far into the season, the 2022-2023 season. For sports analyst Chris McGowan, I'm Mitch Columby. We're so glad you've joined us. More interviews to come in the future. We're trying our best to get everybody in. There's so much to do, so little time, but we are making it happen here on the Saturday Sports Line as we appreciate you tuning in wherever you are on WKVI.com and 99.3 FM around the world. Until next week, we'll see you then. For the Saturday Sports Line, I'm Mitch Columby. Have a good weekend.
But now your kiss has lost its glow, and so we find ourselves holding.
From the Pulaski Memorial Hospital studios of Kankakee Valley Broadcasting's WKVI, you've been listening to the Saturday Sports Line with sports director Mitch Columby and sports analyst Chris McGowan.